Hello and welcome to the weather update. It is January 19, 2021, and we had a little bit of sun in the morning. It was the same thing as deals yesterday. Pretty much start off with the sun in the morning, then it kind of we got all the clouds building up, and in the afternoon, late afternoon, like around 4 o'clock, we had some pretty interesting skies before sunset with a little bit of blue and some pretty clouds in there. Actually, look at a few more of them here. Some pretty clouds, a little Virga in there too, you could see there. And the temperature started dropping as well. So you can see the Virga right there. It's pretty nice. So let's go take a look at what we have outside with the satellite. We'll start with that, I guess. And you will see here, there's that break in the clouds. We had a good deal of clouds that popped up over our area today. Just instability, instability kind of cloudiness, Nothing really that, we weren't expecting. The morning was sunny, but the clouds quickly kind of just built up. And then we had the clouds coming in across the area. So you can see this is kind of what it looked like early on. There was a little break, and then the clouds kind of just built up across our area. So you can see all that. And again, going back to the latest satellite image, I'll update this again. You can see there's more clouds coming because we have a clipper coming in. Actually, what I want to look at here is the Canada view of this is the northern satellite view here, and you can kind of see the Arctic air over here. Here it is. So it's building up. It's a matter of getting it to come down into our area, and we're going to start seeing that as we get toward the weekend. Little more of it, not really a huge chunk of it, but enough to get the temperatures below normal at least. So looking at the weather map, you can see a series of clippers. Here's the Arctic air up there, up in Canada, that will be coming our way by the weekend. So we will be getting a taste of that. But we still have to deal with a couple of cold fronts coming through, which will bring clouds and the chances for even a snow flurry or two. So let's look at the current conditions across the area right now. Temperature at West Hampton is 28. It actually was dropping. West Hampton was colder. Let's see. No, 28's about right. 28 degrees at West Hampton, so it is dropping there. And it got up to 43, which is still above normal. Today was still above normal, by the way. So consider that above normal. The highs were above normal. So if we go to the high temperatures for the day, we look at the high temperature, you'll see we're still above normal for the day, even though it might not have felt like it, because the normal high is supposed to be around 37 or something like that, 37 to 38, I think. So still above normal across the area. The highs in the 40s. So let's go take a look at the weather, the models here, and we'll see what has changed since we last spoke, because there were a couple of changes here and there. Nothing too... Well, I haven't looked at the 18Z run yet, so, if there is something dramatic, well, I guess we're going to see it together. So we'll start with the upper air pattern here. So you see we have a trough in the east, a gentle trough now that has developed. We got the block in Greenland, and this is going to help bring in a series of short waves that'll bring in some cold air for the weekend. But you'll see what the issue is. We got this trough in the west, which is screwing things up for us. Because if we didn't have a trough in the west, we had a ridge, we would have a much more direct shot of cold air. But it's just going to be a glancing blow with that trough that moves through over the weekend there. And then after that, deep trough in the west, not a setup you want to see. Trough in the west, there is a trough along the east coast as well, but a big trough in the west. And this is the change that unfortunately we don't want to see. Trough in the west, below normal heights, Alaska down to the west coast, and a huge ridge in the east as we head into February once again. So yeah, it's just we just can't seem to get this pattern right, unfortunately. And it looks like the cold air is going to be wasted on the west, in the west there, unfortunately. We'll also look at the temperature anomaly chart as well. Might as well do that while we're here, so you can see where the cold air is going. So as we go in toward the end of this week, you'll see still above normal in the east, and then finally the weekend we get a little taste of below normal, but just a taste, and it goes to near average to a little bit above average, and we get a little taste of cold air next week. But then as we head into February, look, just a huge ridge in the east. You got the cold air just trapped over Alaska again. And this has to do with the jet stream. If we look at the jet stream here, let's go ahead and look at that jet stream here. This is the problem here. It's just not cooperating. And you got some really weird twists in it too. Just a lot of just the Pacific. It just doesn't want to. It just doesn't want to cooperate with us to get this cold air in. You know, it's just, you know, we really thought, and it's really disappointing because we really thought that there would be a nice shot of cold air. We really thought there would be a nice shot, extended period of cold weather that we would see. And now it looks like, once again, we're getting disappointed. So let me look at the Northern Hemisphere for a moment here, because I want to look and see what the stratosphere is doing here. Yeah, see, that vortex is not breaking down like we thought. It is, but it's just not going far enough to the south. We can only hope. I mean, it still looks favorable up on the stratospheric level, but sometimes it just doesn't connect. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it just doesn't connect, and I think that's what we're seeing, unfortunately, now. So let's go to the surface map, and we'll take a look and see what we have going on at the surface. So get that little, it's actually a storm that forms way out in the ocean, because we still have this strong blocking in Greenland, which is keeping any of the storms like way away from us. So we won't see anything from that. And that's like the first clipper that gets out to the ocean, and then we have this next clipper coming through on Thursday. That'll bring even colder air as we get into the weekend, and that's when we get into that cold air. You can see the wind coming right from the north. But note that the center of the high does not go over us. So this is the problem. The high, the core of the cold air is not coming down. It's kind of stuck up in southeastern Canada. And so if you look at the actual temperatures here at this time, you will see we get a glancing blow. The really cold air is still stuck up in Canada there. All right, let me go back to the surface map now. Go back to the GFS here. So high pressure, we will be below normal. And then we have this storm coming through, but there's no real strong high in this area to really, you know, supply enough cold air. And this storm is very flat and very weak. The first of the waves here, this is from Monday, and then the second wave, this gets suppressed to the south, so we don't see any snow from the ice. So now it's not looking like we're going to see any snow. And then another cold air mass builds in behind that. But then after that, look at this. We're back to the rain again. A rainstorm to start off February, and above normal. Look at that low tracking way into Canada. So, yeah, I know. Another year without a proper winter, I'm afraid. It's like, will we ever get winter again, or am I going to have to go to Canada to experience winter? It's ridiculous. So let's look at snowfall. Just going to look at the snowfall, total snowfall. And we go right to the end of the period. And you can see barely anything from many areas, except for the mountains in the west and up in Canada. I mean, barely anything. Very unusual, right? We may go through the entire month of January with no measurable snowfall. It's unbelievable. And this is not normal. That's not supposed to happen at all. That is definitely not supposed to happen. So we'll take a closer look here, and you will see, again, just barely anything. This is right through February 4th. Nothing. So it really does suck. And let's see if I don't think the European provides that parameter. It does not provide that parameter. But we can look at the European just briefly on here. I haven't looked at it that much lately because you can see there's that. It's just a glancing blow again, just a glancing blow. It's a little further south with that high, a little bit for the weekend. We'll have to see, but then that low gets suppressed to the south. So, but the European has not had a very good track record, so that's why I have not wanted to use it. So let's go back to the northeast view, and we will take a look at the next chances of precipitation that we could have with this low this front that's gonna move through tomorrow. Might bring us a little. GFS even has a chance of rain shower. Ridiculous. Won't even be cold enough for a snow shower. You gotta be kidding me. And then that's it pretty much. I mean, there might be some lake effect upstate, but then it's this next system here. But you can see it's the one is too weak, and the other one is too suppressed. So we don't wind up getting anything out of them, which kind of sucks. So let's go take a look at some of the other models here, so we can take a little closer look at what that snow shower activity could look like tomorrow. I'm hoping to at least see a snow shower, because this is like ridiculous. So you can see a chance of a snow shower. The biggest chance is actually going to be in the morning hours, the early, probably between between 9 and 11 o'clock. Not early morning, but late morning into early noon. And then maybe a scattered snow shower later on there. You can see a couple forming. There's one over Suffolk County a little in the early afternoon there. Into the late afternoon, you might see that. And then as far as Thursday goes, it stays mostly dry. Maybe a slight chance of a flurry in the afternoon, early afternoon, with that second batch passing through there. But other than that, yeah, it just doesn't look all that impressive, really. I can look at the NAM too as well. And I can look at the NAM. And this is the 0Z NAM that we're looking at here. Let's see what the NAM has. This is the NAM, 3 kilometer. And you can see NAM's a little colder, of course. But you can see what happens, though. The energy does turn into a low once it gets offshore, but that's going to miss us. So we're going to be hard-pressed to see any measurable snowfall. I mean, maybe you'll see a flurry if you're lucky tomorrow. Maybe. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. So with that, let's turn to the temperatures, and we'll go back to GFS, I guess, for that. Go to the temperatures here, and because temperatures of the next couple of days won't be all that cold. It will be turning colder tomorrow, though. So after lows probably around 30 tonight, maybe 20s in the Pine Barrens. Tomorrow we see the highs around average. So highs will be in the upper 30s. So tomorrow it'll be around average. And then tomorrow night it'll start cooling down into the low to mid 20s, and we'll start seeing some of that Arctic air, a little bit of it. And then Thursday you can see it sort of retreats because we already see the return flow. So temperatures are up in the mid and upper 30s, which is still average, all right? Friday is when we start seeing things start to cool down again. Well, still upper 30s on this GFS. At night, drops in the 20s. And then on Saturday, here's where we start seeing temperatures below normal. Highs only around the 30-degree mark. So it'll finally be below normal. Lows at night in the teens, Saturday night into Sunday morning. And then Sunday, we don't really recover that much. Highs around 30 degrees as well. Maybe not even 30, especially on Long Island. Maybe even a little cooler than that. Then we still below normal on Monday. So we'll have a stretch of below normal temperatures, but not dramatically below normal, low 30s. And then here comes the next batch of Arctic air, which will Wednesday, January 27th. And that could be, this was originally supposed to be much colder. It was modeled much colder. We were supposed to have highs only struggling to reach the low 20s. Now we're going to be struggling to reach 30. So not quite as cold, but we'll take what we can get. It's still below normal. And maybe we'll have a couple of days there where we don't even get to 30 degrees, which would be nice. But then after that, we still see a little bit of cold air trying to get in here. But as we get toward the end, you can see the warmer air trying to work into the west there toward the end of the run. So it's just, we can only hope that this digs a little deeper and we can get a little more cold air in. Because, like I said, these warm winters are just not fun, But at least we're going to be going below normal. But it's just not that bitter chill. I mean, when I was growing up, we'd always have days where highs would struggle to reach the 20s. I remember plenty of days when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s where it was only in the teens. Now you can't even get that anymore. It's never that cold, I remember a couple of times, and I used to do weather observations. When I was a kid in high school, in the yard there, I had a weather station. I took weather observations, so I know. I actually have the record somewhere that it was cold back then. It wasn't it was not this warm at all, and we had snow a lot often. We had some snow. We had a lot more frozen precipitation on the ground. Now it's like the climate here has become almost like the Carolinas almost. It's just not what it used to be, This is all part of climate change. Thank God tomorrow we're going to have a president that's going to take charge of this country and get us on the right track, treating the environment right. After the past 4 years, which has been a disaster. I don't want to inject too much politics in here, but anyway, let's... I'm sorry about that. It's just, climate change is something that, I don't know how anyone can deny it. I really don't. There are people out there that do. So let's look at the GFS cloud cover. Tomorrow, plenty of clouds. Obviously, Thursday, plenty of clouds as well, instability clouds. Friday, we might have some clear skies, hopefully. And Saturday, more likely with that Arctic air, we'll have clear skies. Looks like more likely over New Jersey to have clearer skies. And then Sunday, we're probably going to have that cirrus start rolling in on us. Maybe we'll get lucky with another clear day. And then into next week, I mean, it gets inaccurate this far out. But it looks like we'll have some clear days next week, hopefully, as well. Let me look at the NAM, the sky cover. So here is the NAM sky cover model for tomorrow, and you'll see all the clouds in the morning. In the afternoon, it's like the clouds, they break for a little bit, and then we see more clouds pop up with the instability and the high lapse rates in the afternoon there. And then Thursday, we'll probably see more clouds of the mid and high variety. Then maybe toward the end of the day, you'll see a little more sun. And then this doesn't really go that far out into Friday. It only goes to 12Z. I can look at the RGM, which goes a little further. This is the 0Z RGM, so I have to back it to the 18Z. I don't know if it's going to go any further, actually. Let's see. RGM has Friday, yeah. It has it starting off clear, and then the clouds build later on, but maybe as if you're in New Jersey, I'll have a mostly sunny day. We'll have to see. Obviously, it's hard to really get those crystal clear skies just because of the way things are set up in the atmosphere, unfortunately. I miss those days, I really do. And maybe I'll one day share of slideshow some of the pictures. I mean, oh man, those were great days. I remember days where, man, you had just a nice deep blue sky, snow on the ground, and it was just bitterly cold. So cold that the trees had this like bluish look. So, oh man, it's been a couple of years at least since we've had that happen. So anyway, here we go again. So you can see here below normal in the west for the 6 to 10 day. Precipitation will be slightly above average for our area, more or less close to normal. Temperature. And then it still has us in the below normal 8 to 14, so that's some encouraging news. And then the week 3 to 4, equal chances. I don't really look at these too much, but then when you look at the 1 month outlook, it has us above normal, both with precipitation and temperature. But these outlooks are really long range, so, and they're not the most accurate. So that will conclude this weather update. I want to thank you for watching, and take care.